Tim. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Don't have much intel on the injury report. I can just tell you right now that Tre'Davious is improving. We'll see where that goes over the next couple of days as we head into the week of work. So we'll go from there, and I'll update you probably more on Wednesday when I know a little bit more on where these injuries are that we do have. More minor type things to my knowledge so far. Just don't have enough clarity on it right now.
Sean, given the dynamic of what happened yesterday, Tyler, is there anything you can elaborate regarding that? You have obviously a kicker who's a hero, and how do you manage that going forward?
Manage
having two kickers, and
I think I know what you're saying.
Is there an update on Tyler?
Yeah, the update on Tyler is he's on IR, and that's where he's at, right? So, for the foreseeable future, Prater's the guy, and I thought he did some good things. Obviously, the big kick at the end of the game there. So, we stay. Tyler's our guy. Tyler's one of our guys that we've had around here for a number of years, and he's done well, and we're going to help him get through this injury piece, and that's the medical staff's job as well as his job. And but we don't forget him, and it's important that we keep him going here and headed in the right direction.
After watching the film today, what did you see that was really the difference from your run defense last night compared to especially that playoff game? You guys really did a pretty good job containing Henry for the most part.
In the playoff game? Yeah. I mean, it's being in your gap, being where you're supposed to be. We've got some young guys out there that experience the importance of doing your job. And when you don't do your job, things tend to crumble around you. So, and it's not just young guys. It's, there just wasn't enough overall consistency, I would say. I thought we played pretty good early in terms of that first series at times, especially the sequence that led to the third down where we got off the field, and then the last three drives of the game. In between that was too inconsistent. There were moments that, where the standard was met, but there were other moments where it was clearly not met.
On that front, what can you say about Ed Oliver and the impact he made throughout that game? It seemed not only in the game, but capped by that forced fumble.
Yeah, big game. Ed had a big game. You could feel his play out there, right? Whether it was the run game, the pass game, a couple good hits on the quarterback, a couple big plays in the run game behind the line of scrimmage, and then forcing the fumble. Really the entire team, he didn't quit. There was no quit in that team and in our team, and that's a good thing as we look to move forward.
I know you've joked in the past about us asking him about his consistency. How much do you want to see more that this is the start of something?
For Ed? Yeah, I mean, it's important, right? You want to continue to grow and improve and evolve, and he wants to continue to take his game to another level, and he's shown that he's worked and put himself in that position. Now it's the week in and week out intentionality that you take into every week, and you see what he can do when he's in that space.
What did you see from Dorian Strong in his first outing in a big spot?
Yeah, young player going out there, getting his first experience. There's like all of us, he wants some plays back, but I thought he really did some good things. I mean, the touchdown saving tackle on one of the long runs by Henry. You don't see a lot of corners finishing off that play, especially when it's one-on-one with Derrick Henry. So I thought I was impressed by that, how hard he played. Those are good first steps, that we can grow with and teach around.
Sean, can you explain the rule, how it was explained to you maybe? There's a lot of confusion on the two-point conversion. What happened, what didn't happen? Could you explain
with
Keon being called out of bounds, coming back? There's a lot of confusion. People asking us, and I'm not clear on the rule either. Could you explain that?
Well, yeah, I mean, and to be totally clear, I haven't gone through it inch by inch yet, but what came up on the field was quarterback in the pocket versus out of the pocket, and the the call of being able to push a guy out of bounds versus not, right? So that's the call was made of, illegal touching or whatever they called, and then I didn't have a replay, but upstairs had a replay, and at first we thought, hey, ICT, illegal contact with quarterback in the pocket, and then they thought maybe, our people in the press box thought maybe it was out of the pocket too. So I haven't gone back yet and been specific with that play yet. There was a lot going on, and that was a could have become a big play for us right there. Yeah.
Sean, what can I know it's week one, a win like that do for this team moving forward?
Yeah, it is week one, and again, like I said, you're looking for qualities that stand out. It is great to win. We don't take that for granted. What you're also is that lead to a successful, good, sound football team, and one of those things is winning a close game early in the year. Coming back from down 15 or what have you is also important in winning those games, and building resiliency, never quitting, staying connected as a team throughout, staying present, being able to figure it out together. I think those are great early signs. We've got a lot of work to do at the same time, and it is one game. And so in this league, if you get too high on the horse, you will fall rather quickly. So we have to want our fans to enjoy it, and we're enjoying it, but we have to do our jobs and start to turn our attention to the Jets.
You mentioned Joey Bosa talked about how after the game it was like, I guess I didn't realize what this culture was. He was talking about, he was admitting that at some point he's like, all right, boys, let's try to put some good stuff on film from he's conditioned that way, and he was saying, I need to start thinking a little differently around here. With that culture, and you're obviously in it, so maybe he's seeing it a lot differently than you've experienced as it's grown. When did you get to a point that we have the ball with a chance to win? We're going to win this game. The confidence and we have Josh Allen, we have the ball here. We're going to win.
Yeah. When did I get there?
Well, all right. So I guess us as media and as fans, so there's the cynicism that needs to get chipped off over the years. Maybe you felt like that in 2017.
We could probably take an hour and talk through this question, Tim. I think anytime you go somewhere and you're brought in for a reason, it's usually because there hasn't been enough winning, right? So you're going into a situation where there is maybe some of that, and you have to. That's one of the first steps in building the culture is when you're on the crux of winning, being able to win, and taking that's a real kind of seesaw moment, and being able to win and get over the here we go again, we found a way to lose type of mindset, type of result. And that's been big for us. I was very intentional about making sure we got past that as soon as we could. And with the players and staff that we had in 2017, we got through that somewhere early on or middle of the season, whenever it was. Maybe it was the I think Tre'Davious White interception against Kansas City when we had come off of losing 3 straight games and went out there and were able to win at the end of the game. And so it's moments like that I think puts you at least over that obstacle, that challenge, and the mindset starts to change, and the culture kind of speeds up a little bit as well. But that's real, and it's like an invisible obstacle that you got to get over. And we're in a good spot.
With Josh, ball in his hands at the end of the game, what's the mindset there? You need a field goal to win. Josh Allen has the ball.
Yeah, I mean best quarterback in the NFL for a reason. Very comfortable. He is. We are, as a result, very comfortable in those situations. I can't even tell you what time we took the ball, what was left. I just know no timeouts, and I looked up and I'm like, got enough, we're good. We practiced those moments quite a bit, and like I mentioned last night, he has been wired since he came here to want the ball in those situations. He's extremely calm and composed in those situations, and he's an extreme competitor. Like if there was extreme games, he would be like there are extreme games, but I'm saying like he would be a contestant because he loves to compete. I mean, whatever it is, the guy loves to compete, and he's really good at it, competing overall. So we feel extremely comfortable in those moments, and it goes beyond Josh, though, right? From the practice, from the execution piece, and I think that's they go hand in hand.
That calmness, sorry for you to interrupt. That calmness from Josh, do you feel like that's been there throughout his career, or is that something in these kind of situations that he's improved on in recent years?
I think he came with a good amount of it. When you're playing the way he did in college and performing the way he did, that kind of chip on your shoulder attitude, mindset works well in those situations. And maybe, and you'd have to ask him, but maybe what part has developed here has been maybe some more of the understanding the defenses you're going to see, understanding how the games could flow in those situations, and situational football. I mean, last night, Josh was tremendous when we got the ball into the lower red zone there, of just his awareness of what was going on and being able to slow the game down. And so our dialogue, my dialogue with him, and his dialogue with us on the sideline was phenomenal and high level.
If you look at the defense, you went back, watched the tape, you probably dive into all three levels and things you want to improve on, but specifically with the safety, because we talked so much about that throughout the summer, what did you see from them, and how do you balance any concern, because you spend so much time looking for answers there, and when you come out in the first game, maybe it doesn't go well. How do you balance that moving forward in terms of, not getting into the question, but looking for an answer that might not be on the team right now, if that's the case?
Yeah, I let Brandon handle that part of it. For me, it's instilling confidence and belief, reinstilling belief and confidence in the guys who were out there, and working with those guys and being fully confident in those guys. It wasn't our best moments last night, and they know that, and they are looking forward to putting in the work this week to improve, and whether it's tackling, doing things better, and in all parts of the game, first down, second down, third down, so run and pass. So there's going to be some games like that. There's going to be some games like that for younger guys in particular, and you've got to stay committed to the process and your belief in yourself, and eventually the cream will rise to the top, as they say.
You talked about
for all the stuff, for all the support you get and give to those fans. What's your response to or reaction to what happened in that end zone where the fan, kind of got into it with DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson, and I believe he's been banned from the stadium?
Say that again.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'm only aware that it went down. I don't know all the details, so it's really unfair for me to make any comment publicly about it. At the end of the day, we've got a great city and a great fan base, and like anything else, there needs to be mutual respect between those on the field and those off the field.
You talked about Josh and the communication on the sidelines. Take us into the communication you're having with Taves and with Matt Prater, and because you're not going to have a timeout, you got to run kind of the fire drill sort, but you also have a little bit of time. Can you just kind of walk us through that whole sequence a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of situations. It's funny that when they're managed a certain way and it works out versus that nobody says anything, but when they don't work out, everyone's resulting, right, and saying, oh, you should have done this, should have done that. But some pretty cool moments came up last night in the game that probably aren't talked about a lot. I mean, the execution of the 2-minute drive before half, that last play, high level, right, to get the ball out of bounds the right way and get the right amount of distance that we needed, and with 1 second left. 7 seconds is tight to be able to execute that and get it done. And again, we practiced it over and over, and the players executed. Joe made a great call. Josh made a great throw, protection, all that type of stuff. That's high level right there. So that could have been the play that decided the game if you just kind of roll it back and see what was the difference. Scoring before half, the drive you're talking about. Yeah, you're going down and you have no timeouts. So, one of the things that you have to do is get your field goal unit on without being able to stop the clock, potentially, with a timeout in this case. There's other ways to stop the clock, don't get me wrong. But the way that was coming down, there was a lot of different directions that could have gone. And I think we usually kind of follow up on it, rehash it from both sides. That was a pretty interesting situation unfolding in front of our eyes right there, and it could have gone a couple different ways, which I'm fascinated by, and so not going into too much detail on that strategy-wise going forward. But yeah, we knew that we weren't able to stop the clock. We wanted it to run. We wanted to drain them of their timeouts. When you have an elite quarterback on the other side, you don't want to give him the ball back. And so we wanted to drain the clock out, get them to burn their timeouts, which we did, and yet get the points on the board that we needed. So really for us, it's a certain time on the clock where we feel comfortable getting that exchange, where it's still comfortable for Matt to slow down and kick a good quality kick there. So I thought the players did a phenomenal job, and probably, again, things that aren't talked about. Matt's been talked about, and rightfully so, but Reed and geez Louise, Brad, thank you. I mean, all these new names, Reed and Brad, phenomenal job of, if you kick that thing with 7 seconds, there's still time on the clock we've got to kick it off, so they did a great job of getting that clock all the way down to right around 3, which is where we wanted to snap it so that there was no time left on the clock. So, yeah, it was well executed. Some things even on that play that we can improve on as well as we move forward.
Do you have a routine that you go through every game when it comes to watching film?
Do I have a routine?
A routine, yeah, like this is the way I do it no matter what. And the reason I'm asking is, did you watch the film last night differently, especially on defense? Because is there anything that drew you? I guess if you watch it the same way no matter what, then my second question to you, which is...
Go ahead. Do I watch the game differently?
If you watch the film the same way after every game, then my next question doesn't matter.
No, I do. I don't watch it the same every game the same way. It's really how do I want to allocate my time and prioritize offense, defense, special teams, and I could tell you that today I started with the special teams and went through offense and then into the defensive side, and so that's just how I did it today. Usually, it changes, week to week based on where I feel like I'm needed most.
My assumption might be that 40 points, the way that maybe you wanted to look at that first, and I was going to ask what you wanted to really dissect.
Well, there's a lot in there that I want to dissect, and that's, why don't you tell me about your whole day, Tim, also, and where you allocate your time. A pretty in-depth question. I love it. No, I mean, I knocked out the first two. I appreciate it. The first two, I wanted to get through. Felt pretty good, but I wanted to be able to spend the rest of the morning, with the defensive staff and get in there a little bit and roll up my sleeves a little bit there. So that's kind of how my morning went. I'll be happy to share with you tomorrow's schedule as well if you'd like.
Trying to look for some insight here.
Yeah, no, I get it. I love it.
How much has Dory Blaze's development and what he's shown you guys since he starting experience last year, how much has that given you more confidence that you could use base as a change-up, when you're playing a team that uses heavy personnel or that's going to give you the looks that Baltimore did?
Yeah, You know, it's good to be able to put a little bit of more size on the field from time to time. It's more, you know, tell me where, you know, how we are health-wise, how we are game plan-wise, and situationally, what situation, you know, may come up in the game. So I thought Dorian did some really good things last night, very physical, played fast, played hard. So it's kind of a, you know, week-to-week type of deal there, for sure.
Sean, how gratifying was it to see Keon, more so as the second half went along, just put in that type of performance after the weeks and months that we've seen him continually take those steps forward?
Yeah, one of the joys of coaching, right? Watching a young player, nobody wants to watch anybody kind of go through some adversity or experience some bumps in the road, but it does build resiliency, and when you can push yourself through it through hard work and perseverance and mindset, you know, you see the results like last night. And it may not every night, every game be like that, but he's in a really good spot, and I'm extremely proud of him.
What other plays or players do you think are not being talked enough about after last night? So much happened.
Yeah, no, you go back and look at it, and you're like, yeah, I almost forgot that play happened. It was early in the game, whatever it was. I mean, you look at plays. Every play in the NFL makes a difference. Again, people see the kick to win the game, but so many plays before that. The defense forces basically not 3 and outs, but almost 3 and outs at the end of the game, right? That don't get talked about, and they forced a field goal early in the game. Now, what happened in between those is what needs to get fixed, and where we need to grow, right? You know, a lot of young guys there, right? So, but the field goal they forced early in the game, little things that show up. I mean, it's on both sides of the ball. You look at the kickoff that went short of the landing zone by them. You know, pre-snap, some of the pre-snap things that happened. Our first 3rd and 7, I think, there was a neutral zone infraction on their part. Gets us to 3rd and 2, changes the complexion of the 3rd down. We convert. I think we dumped it over to Ty, and he gets a big gain into the low red zone there. So those are the nuances of the game that are it changes the game, and they're huge. And you're wanting to see those things that we practice come to life early in the season, and so you're getting kind of when you're able to affirm those things that we're doing well, it helps the buy-in and I guess the validity of things that we're doing in terms of how we practice, what we practice. You know, some players are just like, hey, I just want to play football, you know, and I get that, but there's a deeper element to the game of football of understanding the game in depth, and we as coaches get paid to do that, and then we try and educate the players on that, at least to a certain extent, so they can understand the situation. As I mentioned with Dalton, Josh hit Dalton before half, you know, so it's and I should give credit to Mark Lubick and Dennis Locke. They do a great job in the press box. John Perry's up there as well from a replay standpoint and rule standpoint. So all those guys gave us great information and knowledge last night.
While you're on that note, I know you touched on this a little bit last night. There's a real good debate that might be ever changing on what to do down 15, right? I mean, you could go now for the 2, as you did, or you could wait to make it a 1-score game by kicking the extra point. Is that kind of an ever-moving target for you? Maybe does a 40-point game matter versus maybe a 20-point game? You know what I mean? Like, how do you process thinking through that math with your staff throughout the season?
Well, there are some of these kind of, hey, well, you could argue either way, right? And we have our core things, and we have some of these that are interesting analytics, right, or decisions. And, you know, again, that's where I think these over here, definitely these are concrete. Everyone probably agrees, too. These over here could be argued either way, mostly when they don't work out, right? So, but down 15 with X amount of time on the clock, one way or the other, there's a debate on what is the best approach. We felt like it was a high-scoring game, and we wanted to try and at least go for 2 early, so we knew if we didn't get it, what we would have to do, how we would have to play. And so that's how the game kind of trended from there on in. And then we had the opportunity to do it later in the game, and I just felt like, as I mentioned before, I wanted to see them play offense. I wanted to put the pressure on them to play offense and not potentially declare the game on that 2-point had we gone for it there, if that makes sense. So I just felt like it changed as we got closer and closer and closed the gap, and I felt like we had momentum, and momentum's, I know, not able to be measured, but somewhere it's out there, right? So it's I think that's all the fascinating pieces of the game, and the game within the game that unfolds every week, really.
Deshaun, last night you said that game was going to be one of those stories that's told for a long time. So when you finally got to the quiet moment, what kind of rolled through your mind the most?
Yeah. I think what was interesting was how calm our team was through it all and how focused they stayed. The headsets, you guys don't get a chance to hear the headsets, but the headsets were buzzing consistently through the game from start to finish in a good way. Like you didn't know whether we were up or down in a healthy way. The players kept playing. They didn't quit. Again, that's, as a coach, those are pivotal moments early in the year, and you're trying to get, you don't want close games, but you want to be able to win one early in the year. It doesn't do everything for you, but it's a start. It's a step in the right direction. I do feel like, the moments that you can experience as a coach, the moments that I've been blessed to experience here in this stadium with this organization, when they're playing Mr. Brightside, that stands out. That stood out to me last night, after the game, and you're seeing the players. You're seeing the faces of the players. These are grown men playing football that are unbelievable, that had an unbelievable amount of joy on their faces last night. It's just, you get reminders once in a while of why you do it, and I think that's pretty cool.
Coach, you mentioned how calm the players were and how calm Josh Allen is in those big moments, but with like 1:30 left on the clock, no timeouts, and so much communication going on in your headset trying to plan for a touchdown or a game-winning field goal, how are you able to be so calm in those moments as well?
Yeah, I think we do a really good job, Maddie, of rehearsing it. We're not perfect. Nobody is, but we try and be intentional about our planning. It's like going on a road trip, right? Getting out the old map, right, and trying to plan it out ahead of time. But also, hey, what if it doesn't go that way and it goes this way or the other way? And there's a lot of people that use the mental visualization things, and listen, as coaches, we're no different. We're performers as well, and you want to be able to execute in those moments and execute well, and I think that's a big piece of it as well. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, John. How are you?
All ready for you.
Favorite part of your week?
What's up?
Favorite part of your week?
The being able to celebrate in the locker room after those guys, I'll take that. Now I just got to do everything I can to be able to do that again. Favorite part of the week, and then after that is talking to you guys for sure. Yeah.
We can celebrate a little more.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It's all right. We need some energy right now. Need some energy. That's for sure.
I think it was Dion. I saw him on an interview last night. He said something about Joe Brady told us all week, don't worry about the scoreboard. You just make sure you just keep playing football. Make sure you just keep going. Can you take us into the mentality, like what you mean by that?
Yeah.
Don't worry about the score. Just go out there and keep playing every play.
Yeah, I think you can get look. There's a time and a place where the score does matter, right? And it's like, hey, we got 2 possessions left and we're down 2 scores, and but outside of that, the NFL is such a unique game that you can be playing either so well or you can